Today's video features beginner clan war tips, starting out at the very lowest town hall levels. When you're starting war, town hall 3 and 4, what do you want to look for? How do you want to attack? Then we are going to move right the way up to them higher town hall levels. I'm your host, Judo Sloth. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe for all of my Clash of Clans content, but again today, focusing on them early town hall levels. We had our first war at mini clashes and we did take the victory, almost a perfect war. So I thought it was a brilliant opportunity to show you all of the beginner content. I wanted to show you my first attack. I didn't quite get the 3-star on this, but we did have MGM that came, altered my plan very slightly and got the 3 stars in the bag. Now across all of the beginner town hall levels right the way up, the CC is incredibly important, guys. If you haven't seen my guide on how to take out clan castle troops, I will link it at the top of the video right now, but I wanted to show you, especially for the lower town hall levels, how I like to take out CC troops, and we have a few other examples. So getting into this replay, what you tend to find when you have a lot of lower levels is that there's a lot of dragons in the CC, and dragons are incredibly easy to take out. Here is how I like to do it. So once you've lured it, you might need to use a hog rider or a balloon in order to, a hog rider or a giant in order to lure that. In this case, I was able to use a barbarian. The fewer troops you can use, the better. Pin an archer onto a building where you want to drag that dragon across to. You can see on this one, we drag the dragon. You like what I did there? But I wasn't happy with where the balloon was, so I put another archer in to pull it that little bit more. From this point, you're using just a couple of barbarians and some wizards. So check this out. I like to put 2 in just to make sure that that dragon is distracted. Once it turns around, get them wizards in, and as soon as the barbarian is about to go down, put another one in. As soon as both of the CC troops go down, start your attack. Get the golem in, whatever it is, to try and protect them 3 wizards. So all I used was just a couple of barbarians. Like I said, my attack didn't quite go to plan. We altered this by bringing Valkyries instead of the bowlers, getting right in there, and then the hog riders ended up doing the job. But let's go right the way down to the bottom. As you can see, a brilliant war, almost perfect here at mini clashes. But let's go down to the bottom and start with some of them lower town hall levels. Mini Tom coming in. I know guys, this base is mental, but you will see bases like this when you are starting out. Bases that, you know, don't even have walls or a few defenses. There is that CC pull. I just wanted to show to you the importance of that. Don't go putting just a bunch of barbarians in. If there's balloons in the CC, they'll just take them out. A baby dragon is good enough to take that down by itself. And notice where we attacked first. The air defense. Get that down first. It's going to protect that baby dragon. Honestly, that could probably take through the base on its own. So obviously, getting the 3 stars there, I'm not going to spend too much on that, guys, but I did want to highlight the importance of taking out the CC troops and then where you would want to deploy your troops from that. So getting them key defenses down. Here's a more realistic base you might see lower down. Luring that CC, like we said, only a single barbarian needed in this case. Make sure to count the amount of troops that come out, guys. You can see 3 balloons in this one. Quite easy to make sure that all of them are out. Let's say only 2 wizards came out though. You'd probably want to put another barbarian in just to make sure that all of the troops had came out. Again, using that strategy of distracting them with a barbarian and then spread your archers around. You don't want to just put them in a clump underneath the balloons. That's pretty self-explanatory, but again, as a beginner, you will not believe some of the mistakes I made when I first started this game. At this point, the dragons are used to distract the archer towers. That's the main defense, which is going to attack balloons, so we target them first. 9 times out of 10, guys, the most difficult thing you want to target first. Once that is down, we've targeted straight onto it. The balloons can wreck the rest of the base, and at these lower levels, especially when you don't have spells, I would say the CC balloons, max balloons from your clan castle, will be the best thing you can take. Once you start getting spells into the mix, which we'll show you next, then it starts changing. Now it doesn't change massively, but the heal spell is going to be vitally important. That's going to keep them CC troops alive. So if you have very strong troops from your clanmates, use the spells on them troops, and the heal spell is probably what you will want to use. So again, luring them balloons, we're not going to focus too much on the CC kill here, circling the archers like we said, so the balloons can only focus on 1 or 2 of the archers at a time, not a whole group of them. Once that is done, you can see we now have 3 archer towers and an air defense to contend with as we're moving up. So again, that is what we want to focus on first. That single balloon, possibly testing for an air bomb, I'm not sure, but then we bring the main bulk in. Here comes the CC balloons and our main group. As they converge after taking out these archer towers, the heal spell is used. Now look at that, it gets them through that air defense, it gets them through that wizard tower, and another set of balloons come over in order to take that down. Again, if your balloons are together, which they tend to clump up as they move across from defense to defense, the wizard tower can do a lot of damage, so maybe bring another set of balloons onto that. Again, at this point, we don't have to worry. Bringing the archers in onto other buildings, now this is part of your cleanup. You wouldn't want to bring archers in here, guys, because there's still a cannon up, but you can start the cleanup around the rest of the base so that you don't run out of time. The balloons will naturally help with cleanup, but as you can see, they're quite slow. All we mean by cleanup is the buildings that aren't protected by defenses. All of the defenses are gone at this point. We just need to take out them trash buildings. So we're going to skip ahead of that. Again, I don't want to focus too much on all the different things. Just want to get the key points across for you beginners. Moving on up to Town Hall 7. Town Hall 7 is probably the first attack where you can start getting a little bit more strategy, and dragons or hog riders, but I would say dragons are probably the #1 strategy. What you want to do is take out one of the air defense with lightning spells. We've already done that. Now that is the hardest to get to air defense when you path your dragons. All we mean by that is these 2 air defense here, just by creating a line of dragons across the left hand side, they are able to target onto them air defense relatively easily. You can see they've already pathed onto it, they are going down. Balloons weren't even needed. Again, getting onto their most critical defenses first. This air defense at the other side was a little bit trickier to path onto. We couldn't have necessarily easily targeted 2 air defense had we have not taken that one in the background out. So take out the most hardest to get to one, spread your dragons so that they're going to get onto them other air defense relatively quickly, and at that point you are good to go at Town Hall 7. Great job there. I am just kind of flying through the attacks. Let's get to, oh, I think this is my attack. Yes, my second attack where we did get the 3-star. This isn't a massively upgraded base, so I am going to kind of skip over it, but it moves up to Town Hall 8 where we have the air sweeper. Now I tried to get a little bit clever. I do like to take an earthquake spell and 2 lightning spells to take out an air defense. That means that you have another spell left over. I didn't quite get this air sweeper, but honestly the rest of the attack is fine, that it's not going to matter. So I focus in towards one of the air defense, which you can see using the rage spell to get the dragons onto it. Once the CC is lured, I can take my clan castle balloons straight onto the other air defense with a haste. Once that goes down, again guys, it is game over really. The king I used to distract the archer towers on the back end. I might have put him in a tad early here, but I basically use him in order to tank for the dragons, because as they move through the base, these archer towers will get longer and longer to shoot at the dragons. It's going to take them quite some time before they get to that archer tower, so you can tank for it with the king. You can use him in order to set the funnel initially if it's going to help your dragons get to an air defense quicker, because again guys, remember, getting to that critical defense is probably the most important thing you can pick up at the moment. Skip through the rest of the attack, but it was a 3-star. We have a couple of more Town Hall 8s to show you, and then we will wrap up the video. So next guys, we move on up to number 6, Secret Admirer. Check out this base. bit more of an upgraded Town Hall 8. Again, as a beginner video, you might still get stuff from this, but I hope the main tips that we have given have helped you guys. So, for this one, coming in with Hog Riders, what we need to make sure is that we're being cautious and thinking of where we want to attack from. So by attacking at the bottom, we take out 2 splash damage defenses, and then we create a path for the Hog Riders. What you want to do is get them into the middle of the base. So we have 2 sets coming forward. Would have been nice to get that mortar down before the section on the bottom was deployed, but they still go into the middle along with a bunch of others. That means that we can get the Tesla and a couple of other defenses in the middle whilst the others go around the outside. You do need to be careful on the outside, guys. Wow, I was just about to say that. For traps, make sure that you're thinking about where traps might be. A base might look like you can track Hog Riders from one defense to the next, but it might actually be a strategic plan by the defender to send your Hog Riders onto one of them traps, so always bear that in mind. For this one, absolutely crushed it. Still have wizards well protected that are going to help with cleanup, and Hog Riders in order to help take out them trash buildings as well. We don't need to see the 3-star come up. You saw it was a 3-star. Let's get to the next one. Mini Avenger, one of our core leaders. I just like, this is an example from what we were just talking about. So you can see, look at all of the defenses on the outside here. Now that almost calls, obviously he's doing the CC lure and taking down first, but you can see all of the defenses. You know exactly where the Hog Riders are going to go from one defense to the other. Again, there used to be anti-3-star bases like this or anti-Hog Rider bases like this way back when. I love remembering or reminiscing of them times anyway. But you can see, actually, if you track around the base, I know we're not even watching the attack here, there's not really any area for traps. There might be a spring trap here, but honestly, one spring trap, the rest of the base right the way around. Look at all of these defenses. They're clumped so tight together. There's nothing which is going to affect the Hog Riders once he's broken in here and created that funnel. And what I mean by that is the defenses are broken here. When he brings the Hog Riders in, you can see exactly where they're going to track. Now, some of them might be drawn into the middle just because of the deployment of them and how the group of them where they're standing in terms of the defenses, but the ones on the outside here are the main intention. They are going to get right the way around the outside without barely being touched, because this main group in the middle, look at all of these defenses, are shooting in at the golems. These Hog Riders are just coming around, sniping off them defenses, absolutely no problem. So a beautiful attack. That has been a whirlwind. We have one more attack to show you. That has been a whirlwind of tips, guys, but I hope it does help many of you beginners getting into clan wars as well as you're upgrading. I wanted to show right the way up to kind of Town Hall 7 and 8 as well, because you will get up to that level very, very quickly. So I hope that has helped you. If you guys have any other tips that you would like to share with other people, make sure to drop them down in the comments section so that they can see it in order to help them out. I'm not, I've got to work with the replays I've got, tried to show you as many things as possible, and hopefully as we go through the videos you will see more tips and tricks. So for this one, we kind of missed the CC lure and kill there, but it was very nice because the extra balloons came in to take an air defense. Now that was not only getting the lure, but obviously taking that air defense and again the defenses so that the balloons here could pass through the base. And this was vital in terms of us winning the war, making sure that we did indeed get the 3 stars on the top base. Another very important thing here, guys, check out the builder huts in the corner. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you are still here for the builder hut tip. Builder huts down in the comment section, let me know archers used for each one of them. Look at that, just pencil in 1 or 2 archers in order to take them out. The last thing you want is to run out of time as your balloons try and get from one building to the next. And again, we've all had a 99% 2-star with them builder huts. Let me know if you have in the comments. Again, let me know any other tips. I've been your host, Judo Sloth. I hope you have enjoyed this one. Again, mini clashes, we will be opening it up again very shortly, but we just need to find our feet, get a few wars under our belt. That wraps it up for this one. I've been your host, Judo Sloth, and until next time, peace out, guys.